Yo, this is your boy Rob Diggy. And let me tell you one thing. Chris Gunther, he's the bomb. So check him out, okay? Chris Gunther Show. Rob Diggy here. Peace.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chris Gunther Show. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. I thank you for all of your support. Every interview that you guys take the time out to watch, it really means a lot. Anytime that somebody is with me, you know that they've done something incredible. If you have watched the hit series, The Family Business on BET Plus, this man is no stranger. He is the composer. Without any further ado, the Chris Gunther Show welcomes the one, the only, Mr. Rob Morrison. What's going on with you, brother?
What's up, baby? How you feel, Chris?
Man, thank you for taking this time out. Truly appreciate it.
Cool in the game. You can call me Rob Diggy for the record.
Yeah, I like that nickname a little bit better too. Rob, see, look, you got Rob D with CG. See how God work it out?
That's right. We worked it out.
Yes, sir. Let's get right into it, man. You know, composer on the hit series, The Family Business. Like, what made you, like, how did you even become a part of that series?
Chris, I've always told myself, you be ready when the phone rings. Be ready when, you get an email, the doorbell rings or whatever, And I was doing some work on a movie or something. And I get this call, this 818. Now I'm always, when 818 pops up on my phone, I know it's money. I mean,
Yes, sir.
That's California, 213-818 and stuff like that. And so I said, that's money calling. I knew it. I just felt it in my spirit. And I called the number back. As the person hung up and said, hey, when I called back, I said, hey, just looking for Rob. I said, yeah, my name is Trey Haley. I'm the composer. I'm the director for The Family Business. And I'm looking for a composer for the show, for The Family Business show. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm just getting interested now, So he said, well, are you busy? I told him, nah, I'm freed up. Although I had a project, in the Bay in the queue. So
Yes, sir.
winded up telling him no. And he says, well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna call you in a couple of days and I'm gonna have my showrunner, which is Indy Brown, contact you about finances and things like that, and we'll get the scheduling going. And before you know it, it's like 2 days, like say, for instance, like Friday evening or whatever, that Saturday night, they were contacting me about scheduling. And Sunday morning, that was Saturday night, actually, when I went to bed, that was a payment for me to get started and the film. And that was it. But little did I know, I'm like, because I knew a few people on the show already.
Right.
So I called around. I called my friend, my good friend, Carl Gilliard, who was the brother minister on the show. I don't know if you've seen the show.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Brother minister, I called him. And he was in school teaching, and he says, well, Rob, he said, I want to take credit, but it wasn't me. I'm like, it wasn't you. So I said, well, I'm gonna call Trisha. Now Trisha Mann Grant, also my dear sister. She plays Dominique on the show. And she was opposite Lisa Ray. He was kind of going back and forth and stuff like that. And so I said, well, Trish, was it you? I said, because I'm trying to find out who recommended me for the show. She said, big bro, little bro, it wasn't me. I'm sorry. I wish I could take credit, but it wasn't me. And so finally, 2 years went by. 2 years. And I went to a book signing that Carl Weber had in Chicago. And a lady was there, and she was the hairstylist. And she said, I'm the one that got you on the show. I'm like, you?
Like, I finally figured it out.
But guess what? I had never met her. We were only Facebook friends for about maybe 10 years or so. Because a lot of people, all of my business contacts, they come from Facebook.
The power of social media.
And she's always seen me post and do work and, scoring and things like that. And so Gayla Belay was the one that had talked to Trey Haley. And Trey had went to my SoundCloud page, which I have some high-powered score music, cinematic music there. And he was like, yo, let's get it. So it was Gala.
I believe that is so interesting to hear because once we can finally hear the backstory about how you got to where you are with that particular project,
Mhm.
and you see how the show has become such a hit. When you guys were first working on it, when they brought you on, did you see this thing becoming as big as it's become?
You know what? I saw it growing. When I joined, it was growing anyway. Because every storyline and like, see, they was telling me to, watch the, previous episodes.
Right.
I'm watching and I'm like, all right, this is cool. It's growing, it's growing. But when I got there, they did a whole different transition because the director, Trey Haley, was saying, we're gonna need you to step it up because this character, Larry Duncan, which is Stan Shaw,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna be doing some outlandish things and you gotta be ready. You gotta step it up. So when seemed like when Stan's character took effect with this crazy role or whatever, then I started to feel more comfortable because it was dark. It wanted it dark, and that's my favorite kind of cinematic, when it's dark and I can with that grunge,
You can play with it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So I was able to um hone into his character and the characters that played the darker scenes. Then it felt like, okay, I'm doing, I got this. And so from there, the other things started to elevate with a little more action, and because the other composer did a great job. Shout out to Matthew here. He did a great job, but I just elevated for me. You have to elevate for yourself. So that's what I did, and everything I touched like seemed like it was turning to gold in terms of scoring. So yeah, I had a good time doing it. So yeah, the elevation was important, and it was needed.
You hit on something powerful. You said everything you touch turns to gold. And that is not an exaggeration because I'm taking a look behind you. All I see is awards and all I see is phenomenal people. So it's all right to give yourself some flowers, but it's
Yeah,
also great to have facts behind it.
yeah. Those gold records and platinums uh, um, they're awarded to me because I worked on a lot of remix production work, and that's like say from Beyonce. I think I can't remember. Janet Jackson's up there. Michael Jackson is up there. So basically, I come in as a remix producer, a composer, a keyboardist. So I think with those awards, me scoring kind of works hand in hand because I'm working with a cappella vocals on these remixes. So as a result, I'm listening to Beyonce's vocal in the raw, no music. So I
Mm,
kind of like tell a story musically with her
hmm.
vocal. So it's easier for me to early on get into scoring. So I knew I could do it. It was just a matter of having the opportunity to do it.
It,
Hmm.
in a few weeks, BET is having obviously 25 years celebrating the BET Awards, which everybody is going to be looking forward to. But the network in general, I believe, has been around for 45 years now, if I'm not mistaken. How blessed do you feel to know that you've had an imprint on one of the highest rated shows that they've ever had?
Yeah, it feels super, super great and blessed to have it under my belt. That's an honor. Shout out to my publicist, Desirae Benson.
Man, see, you read my questions. I was going there next, but it's all good. It's all good.
Only no, no, only because she's been hounding me for the last month. Well, I think she started in January. Are you going? Are you going? I'm like, no, I'm not going. She says, well, do you guys get some kind of benefit perk to go on, to go? I said, we don't get anything. I'm not a part of BET. I'm a part of Tridestin Studios, that's the company that runs the family business. So if they gave out passes to every show, they'd have to get rent out, like say the Staples Center.
100% because of all the hit shows that they've had.
And everybody, the extras and everybody that would want to pass or whatever. So I told her, no, I'm not going. But it's nice to know that I could probably go and pay full price and sit in the nosebleeds. I'm not doing that. So shout out to my publicist. and we'll get it right, Des. We'll get it right.
Yeah, because one thing I've picked up on, Des getting a chance to work with her, one of the greatest people I've met, such a kind soul. It's great when you can have people that are in place that can put you in position to be great. But
Hmm.
it obviously comes from the work that you've already put in. But sometimes you just gotta have the right fit and you have to have the right person in a sense backing you up. How powerful and how great has it been to work with a publicist like Des?
Oh, it's been wonderful. Excuse me. She's afforded me some opportunities that I wouldn't have gotten, honestly speaking. A few magazine covers. Like I wouldn't have known it. I mean, I probably known to do it, but with her impact and her influence, she was able to just say, like Bewitched, snap a finger, rub her nose, whatever, you know. And just like with even with you, I'm sitting here and working on a film, and there's a text message, "Hey, I got you an interview with Chris." Da, da, da. I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." So she's been impactful in that arena, and I always refer her as much as I can.
100%.
100%. Every time I get a chance, hey, if somebody's lacking in the area, I say, "Hey, look, you should call Desirae," or send her an email. I'll give her the heads up, and she follows my lead every time. Sometimes, a lot of times they flop. A few times, and she's gotten a few clients through me or whatever. So we work well together on that. And I even was responsible for her getting into the Grammys. She's a Grammy member because I mean I'm a Grammy winner, but she's now I'm a member as well. But she's a member because of me, like I said. So we vibe off that kind of stuff. So she says, "Well, can I post it?" I said, "You don't need to post it. You're a Grammy. You in, just do your thing. So it's good to know that she has that status right now, and that's always good because she can use it to her advantage.
Not
Mhm.
only that, but it goes to show you how you are going to pay it forward to her. And that's
Yeah.
one of the coolest things because we, as a community, I feel like we need to remind ourselves that we really are the greatest. When
Yes.
we look out for each other, it makes it better for the next generation coming up.
Mhm.
Because when they see us do it, their whole thing is, look, I saw the greats do it. So it seems like we really can do it. And, huge shout out to Des, who does a phenomenal job. And, in that LA spot period, just in that region, I've had a chance to be around some amazing publicists such as Keita Williams does an amazing job, Tasha Witten does an amazing job,
Mhm.
Chris Sibley does an amazing job, and then you got great people such as my good friend Laquita who does an amazing. So I mean, you have so many others, and I feel like the reason why we can highlight them behind the scenes is because they do a lot for a lot of folks that they
They do.
never get credit for.
They
But if you
definitely
a
do.
real publicist, man, my hat goes off to you because y'all make this stuff look easy and it's really not.
It's a lot of work behind it. A lot of times I call, she can't answer the phone. She'll say, "Hey, look, I have to hit you back," only because she's doing somebody's press release or,
Yep.
and it's a lot of work writing and things like that. So I understand. So I try to give her space when I can. So yeah.
Oh
Mm.
yeah, man, 1,000%. And if there was somebody who I forgot to mention, charge it to my head and not my heart, because it's a lot of y'all that do so many amazing things. But them is just the first ones I could think of off the top of my head. Conversation for a different day. But you actually had went into something I was going to ask about. You had mentioned, you're working on a film. See, I did my research, so I don't want people to come on my show and make it seem like I don't know. I know about y'all just a little bit, all right? Because you
Mm.
have a new project called Lipstick with Camille Winbush that is getting ready to drop, or at least that you're in the process of making, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's done. But yeah, that's funny. Lipstick, I just got the poster. Kimberly Connor is the director, and I'd known of Kim for a while,
Yes, sir.
and she contacted me, and she thought I would be a good fit for the project only because of that, once again, that grunge element, that dark. And this movie is dark. Lipstick is a story about a young lady that saw her parents kind of, they expire in front of her face.
Whew,
And she
that's some trauma.
remembered, yeah, she remembered that, and she was taking it out on people.
Dang.
So as a result, the movie is dark. You get a lot of dark spots where I get a chance now to show off instrumentation that feels cinematically dark. You
Hmm.
know, and it worked. So that movie should be premiering at a theater, at a showing. We're going to do a premiere pretty soon, probably in the next month or so.
Just want to put this out there. If y'all need some press, holla at your boy. Just saying. Now, one of the things about being a composer is you have to get inspiration, and it's something that doesn't just come out of nowhere. Sometimes life can bring some real dark moments. You have your ups and your downs, but sometimes that can inspire you.
Mhm.
Where do you find inspiration, especially when you're working on major projects?
I normally let's use the family business as an example. I would probably go to a website, and I don't know if you are you familiar with like I use Logic Pro for my, we call it a DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, and I'm able to write from that DAW. And with the DAW, you're able to find different sounds,
Hmm.
different programs and different sounds. So I go to these different websites and I listen to the plugins, we call them plugins, that they're selling. And I said, oh, I like that sound maybe for this movie or this series or whatever it is. And I saw myself buying and purchasing um, three or four of these plugins at a time. Now you're talking about anywhere from $5 to $9.99, literally. So yeah, I have to make a decision to see what I want in that price range that's going to help me elevate me for the series or a movie or whatever. So I saw myself scoring and I get caught. I said, oh, dang, I need some inspiration. So I'll go to, we call it Native Instruments or any Studio Sample Logic, any one of these sites, or Google, and I'll Google like plugins, like what's the hottest plugin cinematic program right now, plugin right now. It'll tell me. I'll go to the website and listen to the samples, and I'm like, you know what? That's a nice sound. I know I can use that in this. I may only use the sound one time,
Hmm.
but I have it. And
Got
so
it. You got it. Yes, sir.
talking about for any, and my price range has been probably around 549 tops. Haven't spent no more than that on plug-in. And there's some high powered stuff that you like watching, like when you're watching television and you're seeing all these hit shows and you're hearing, those are called plugins. And so these people spend a lot of money to get these sounds and to be able to put them back, and for their license free and everything like that. So you're able to use them. And that's my inspiration. There's another site called Pond 5 I use just to listen. I don't take anybody's music. I just listen and get the inspiration. I'm like, okay, cool. I like what they're doing. And they want like $99 for the stems or the separate sounds. I'm like, I don't need to do that. I can just listen and
Hmm.
now recreate my own version of what they've done and keep it moving. So that's pretty much it. And then sometimes television, I'll take a break and watch TV. It's like, ooh, I like that. And rewind it back or whatever. And be like, let me see if I can use my phone, record it, listen to it, and go, okay, cool, I got it. And I'll just like replay it in my own way. And that's been my inspiration for the most part. Hmm.
And look what's come out of that too. And it just hit me as you were talking about that. You kept mentioning plugged in. Another publicist who I'm a plug in, who I just want to continue to show some love to, is this woman named Shelby Smith. Shelby Smith does an incredible job. So, and the reason why I want to put that out there is because in this conversation, in this conversation that we have been having, we have been able to highlight not only your greatness, but the greatness of others.
Others,
And the
yes.
great things that you are doing has been able to contribute to the success of not only the family business, but also to lipstick and other things that, you will continue to do. What do you have coming up that the people can look forward to?
I got I'm right now. I'm working on. I think what I could be done. Sometimes the directors always give me like some cleanup work to do. I'm working on a film called The Laundry Room Strangler, which is a Christian film, by the way.
That is a catchy title. Laundry Room Strangler with Christians. Oh, I can't wait till that comes out.
I think it's either The Laundry Room Strangler or not Laundry Mat, so it's The Laundry Room Strangler, and that's by Quincy Trent. And the movie that I'm currently doing on my desktop right now. It's called A Boy Named Bobby. And this project is very near and dear to my heart, even though I didn't know about it. I was, in terms of watching it,
Mm-hmm.
about a guy that, a young kid, a juvenile delinquent, and he's got some issues. And I come from the public school system. And so I saw in this film how a lot of things, how he was going through and foster homes and things, being abused and all that. So all this is in this movie. So I'm able to relate. And once again, they wanted dark, some parts. They want some happier things, but they want some of the areas to be dark. I nail it. I just nail it. I just do. That's what I do.
Hey, that's where greatness comes in at. You are the kind of person you've been preparing for this forever. So
Oh yeah.
once you get that phone call, you're like, all right, come on, let's knock it out. Because if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
As I told the director, you're right. I told the director a couple weeks ago, I say, this is your baby. I say, now it's my baby. I say, but we're going to make another baby and we're going to put it. He laughed, because and a lot of times I don't know directors firsthand. I don't really, so you have to kind of warm them up because they're going to pay you. They're paying you money. So you have to make sure that you're comfortable and they're comfortable with you,
Sure
you know.
do.
And so I try to, make little lighter jokes or whatever, but it's serious. And I know once I sit behind my piano, it's 100% serious. I limit my phone calls. My mom, she's my biggest fan, but she knows. Joanne, I call her Joanne. She already knows that Rob's working. I'm not going to bother him. I may not call him for the rest of the day. And then it's 9:30. Oh, I forgot to call mom. And then I pick up the phone and dial her up. But she already knows how that works. A lot of my newer friends, they're learning. Okay, well, he's working. I'll give him a little time or whatever. So that's my planning schedule. A lot of times I'm just in between what I'm doing. Can't talk. I'm editing. I'm doing whatever. So it's always around the clock that I'm doing this. And that's my lifestyle. I love it.
And with that, you've won several things. You're the guy who people want to constantly come to, and you have the accolades literally behind you to prove it. If anybody wanted to connect with you and stay up to date with you, how can they do that?
My Instagram is always available. That's Rob, ROB, space, and then DIGGY, or composer, the number 4 films, FILMZ. Fail to mention too that I'm a Hall of Fame member, inductee with the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff.
That's big.
2021, I was awarded, inducted into the Hall of Fame at my college, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and it's a big ceremony, and I'm just so happy and honored to have received the Media and Entertainment Award in that arena. So that's always a good thing. And then I was inducted into the presidential award for excellence in media and volunteerism for Joe Biden sent those out. So lifetime achievement award, that is. I kind of got that wrong, but yeah, that's it.
This
Mhm.
is my thing on it. When you're a Hall of Famer and you're the person who has all the accolades, that is what we need to continue not only to see, but to recognize and to see what you've been able to do. My hat goes off to you, man, because as a young black guy coming up in this entertainment space, I understand the challenges that are ahead. But I also know with every challenge, it is an opportunity for you to elevate and to see the things that you've been able to do and Daz has been able to do and so many others. It encourages young brothers like myself to keep going.
Yeah, yeah. But I tell youngsters all the time, well, of course, this is not the same music business as it was back, you know, early 80s, mid 80s, 90s. It's not early 2000s. It's not the same business because they brought in and implemented a lot of the laws for copyrights. It's a new way to do music now, and that's through AI. You can write a full song in 2 minutes. And, that's the lyrics and the music. Takes about 2 minutes tops to do it. And I tell young people all the time, try to take a class, try to learn some piano. Everybody wants to sample, everybody wants to make a beat and not take the time to actually learn how to, use their fingers and play. But
Well,
that's okay. That's how they want to do it,
but even with them wanting to do it like that, there's nothing like putting the actual work in. There are no shortcuts to greatness. When you put the work in and you just kind of got to be at the right place at the right time, that's when it all takes off. And I appreciate you so much for your time. Once
Yes.
again, can you give us your socials before we log out of here?
Okay, so that's on I don't for Facebook I would rather not, but for Instagram. No, only because the Instagram is quicker. They inbox
It
me.
is. It is
So
100%.
yeah, so I go with Instagram. That's Rob Diggy under Instagram. And what else did I say?
Well, we were really just trying to get your socials, but once we hear Rob D, we will know where to find
Yeah,
you at that
Rob
point.
Diggy. Oh, Google me under Rob Diggy, and that's a wrap.
That's another flex. He said, Google me. I'm going to do that too. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob D on the Chris Gunther Show. Thank you so much for your time today, King. Appreciate you, my brother.